Sorry, we aren't accepting new patients.
Next time, reach out to Life's Journey Counseling Services. They're located on Main Street, right in the middle of Jewett City, and they are accepting new patients right now. Individual, couples, family, and group counseling are all services available at Life's Journey Counseling Services in Jewett City. Find them online at lifesjourneyct.com and click on Book Appointment for information on how to start or to simply get questions answered. Life's Journey Counseling Services has multiple therapists on staff, so your questions, concerns, and counseling needs will all be met. lifesjourneyct.com. It's the best place to start your personal journey to heal, become a better version of yourself, and strengthen your relationships. Life's Journey Counseling Services, 70 Main Street here in Jewett City, lifesjourneyct.com.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah, 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Talk. They hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
You try.
This message has been brought to you by Grizzle Pride. Visit us at grizzlepride.org.
Life is full of choices. At Jewett City Savings Bank, we can make one choice easy, finding the right checking account. We offer a range of affordable accounts to fit your budget and needs, and each gives you the freedom to access your money the way you want, online, through our mobile app, or with your debit card. It's your money and your choice. To learn more about the account that's right for you, stop by one of our offices or visit us at jcsbank.com. Jewett City Savings Bank, member FDIC.
If you're talking, they will hear you. Every single time.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Don't change anything. I love your show just the way it is.
Mike Minarski and Paul Lash in the morning. And 80s all day and night. Your community radio.
SNSN.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Paul Lash in the morning. 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
And good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
How are you?
It's Monday.
It's your favorite day of the week.
Yep. Love it.
Well, did you do anything this past weekend and made it to make Monday seem as crappy as possible?
Yeah, I relaxed.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you're pretty relaxed when you come in here.
Yeah.
Unless we're talking about like field or something.
Nope.
Yeah, bring that up. It's a little low. It got adjusted.
I know it.
Over the weekend.
Somebody playing around. All right, we're good.
So
Monday.
Da, 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 da. You're singing Mamas and the Papas, and I'm singing something totally different.
Oh well.
So it was. I had a interesting weekend. I got together with Chris Goodenough. He actually cast me in one of his short movies.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
That'll be interesting.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. The what we did on Saturday. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was I'm not used to it, or anything like that. And it's a totally different world.
Well, of course.
Last time I had to memorize lines was for a 7th grade play. So there's that.
There's that. Oh, okay. That's his new movie, right? What's it called? What, Purple Heart? Is that it?
Yeah, I think he changed the name.
Oh, he changed the name of it?
I think it's called Damaged Heart now.
Gotcha.
I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
But it was really interesting. We did it right here.
Oh, cool.
We didn't tape it yet. We didn't record it yet or film it yet.
Yeah. I think he's looking for someplace to film it, right?
No, we're gonna do it here.
You can do it here? Ah, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do it right here because it takes the bulk of it takes place in a radio station studio.
Oh, okay.
So
There you go.
there are a couple of scenes that are in different places, but
Yeah. Oh, cool.
so the movie will be about 7 minutes long,
Yeah.
7 or 8 minutes, I guess.
Oh,
Or so.
most of his films are fairly short.
Yeah,
They are, because that's why they call them short films.
Short films.
Yeah.
I think we need to call this. We need to rename the show to Short Attention Span Theater.
Yeah. So that's a good name. Why not?
I'll wait for 30 seconds. Yeah, no, I'm gone.
So what's happening?
Nothing. I just I get the subject I put up today was, are kids always right? Are parents right? Or have parents lost touch these days compared to, say, 30, 40 years ago?
How many years ago? 3 or 4?
30 or 40.
Oh, 30 years ago? Oh, man. There's a big difference between now and 30 years ago.
What do you think is the big difference? See, now you were a parent back in the 80s and 90s where I became a parent. I mean, to an infant, in 91, but
even the 80s was, well, yeah, early 80s. But after like maybe middle 80s, that was when parenting kind of ended because both kids were kind of grown up. But it was
right.
Mostly in the 70s.
Well, how did you parent? As a father, you have a boy and a girl.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I can't remember. What did I do? I don't think I did. We kind of kept them under control.
Yeah.
They, tried to make sure that they did things right.
But what method, I guess, did you use to kind of keep them in check? You remember way back then, Pepperidge Farm remembers.
A long time ago, Jesus. It was much different than it is today,
Well, yeah, that's what I guess I'm trying to get at here.
I know. I'm trying to. It'll come to me.
So, what about you guys in social media land? Both of you, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, money wasn't. I mean, making money back then. I mean, Christ, you're lucky if you made $150 a week. Back then.
Yeah.
Back then. So there were a lot.
But everything's relative. I mean, things were a lot cheaper too.
Yeah, but still, it wasn't easy to acquire a lot of stuff. You always tried to give them a lot of things as much as you could.
Deb says technology is a big difference.
There was none
between then and now.
There was none.
Right.
I mean, there was no technology at all. I don't think the internet came out until in the 80s, late 80s. When did the internet come out? Was it in the 80s? Because it definitely wasn't in the 70s. Yeah.
Late 80s was more like message boards and local bulletin boards.
Yeah.
It was like the beginning of it.
Right.
You could send email as long as you were on the same message board, but sometimes it took days.
Yeah.
People would have to show up with a 3.5-inch floppy and go, here you go, here's your mail packet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not meal packet, mail packet.
Yeah.
And then things kind of moved into like Prodigy.
Yeah. I remember that.
Delphi. Those are
some of them.
A couple of online services.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. But there was no technology at all. None.
Right. Okay.
None.
Yeah. Kids talking on the phone. Talking out the window. That kind of stuff.
Talking on the phone was regular phone.
No. I know. Or they're talking out the window at the house. I mean, it's totally different in the 80s than it is today.
Yeah.
So does that change parenting? See, we can talk, okay, technology is different. Okay, fine. But does that change the way kids are being raised?
Well, I think that what happened was we tried to give our kids, as much as we could give them. And then I think what the next generation did, they tried to give their kids more. Mm-hmm. So it kept going on and on and on and on. So
Scott says the problem is that some parents use technology in place of parenting. Or do they use it in like a babysitter?
Babysitting?
Yeah, like here, little Johnny, here, play on this iPad for a while because mommy's got a date.
Now I got you. Yeah, because I mean, I've seen it myself. Sometimes you go into a restaurant, and what's the little kid playing with?
Yeah, we're talking like 2-year-olds.
Yeah,
they're playing on their iPad.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, is it a learning experience?
Well,
or is it'll keep them quiet?
The one thing I did was because I was in the technology field, I got my grandson a PC when he was like 2 years old. And I used to buy the 2-year, the CDs or to teach him how to do stuff.
Yeah.
It's like for that level of age. And actually, the kid is pretty damn good with technology today. Maybe because of that.
Well, I'm sure
that's what I used. That's what I
gave
did.
him a start. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 2 years old. I mean, he was whipping through a PC like nothing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was just fortunate to be able to find one I could get real cheap. So.
Laura says, I think we learn a lot of our parenting style from our parents, depending on everyone's own personal experience. Some may do things way different than how they were raised.
Yeah.
And then she goes on to say social media and technology has made parenting more difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. It was tough to we really couldn't keep track of them either because there was no technology. Today, a lot of parents have these, you get an app on your phone, you know exactly where your kid is because they're carrying a phone.
Yeah, until they turn it off.
Yeah.
So like that's something I would like to know how people deal with that. So, like, if you put an app that is basically keeping tabs on where your child is with their device, so you're actually using it as a tool, instead of, a Be Real, let's take a picture and put it on Be Real.
Yeah.
That's a new social media network, by the way. Do you think that, how would you deal with it if your child turns it off?
Well, the one thing you could say, either you leave it on or I'm not paying for your phone.
Yeah, but damn well that's not going to happen.
Well, that's the difference. You need to.
You don't pay for the phone. Guess what? Then you really won't be able to find them.
Then they don't have. Well, let's face it.
It's like putting somebody in jail for not paying child support.
But the one thing that kid wants is he wants that phone because everybody in their brother's got a phone.
Yeah.
So if they take away their phone, he can't communicate with all their friends.
What's up, AA Ron?
So either you leave it on or no phone. Simple as that.
Scott says when kids act up, the first action is to hand them an electronic device that only teaches them that they get rewarded for crappy behavior.
Well, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. So there's so many ins and outs
of
this, it's like all right, you put a tracking app on your kid, right? So you want to, it's really because what are you trying to do? Trying to keep them safe, right? In case something happens, right?
Of course.
Of course, they think you're spying on them. So they turn the damn thing off.
Yeah. That's true.
What happens? Who's right? Who's wrong?
Yeah.
Well, if you're asking me, the kid's wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, the kid's going to swear up and down. Well, I don't want you spying on me.
No, I don't think parents are really spying on them at all. I just think they want to know if they're not showing up, where are they? They're not constantly watching where the heck they are. I don't think so.
The kids know that they aren't allowed to shut it off. Never had a problem, Scott says. Okay, but what about the ones that do?
Well, there are going to be some that are going to fight it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know some of those kids.
Yeah, and the parents just don't do anything about it. If you don't do anything about it, the kid's going to shut it off.
Yeah.
So, parents have got to act like parents, too. You can't be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
You got to, if you're going to turn it off, turn it off. I mean, that's it. Give me the phone.
Sarah says we had a lot more freedom in the 80s to do dumb stuff. And the flip side was my parents rarely got upset because I think they half expected it. Now parents try to helicopter, and it causes so much more stress.
Yeah.
You know, like I know kids are going to do, I did stupid things. You know, they're going to do stupid things. You almost want them to do stupid things, you know, so they'll learn. But the problem is that they've raised the bar on the stupid things that they do.
Yeah.
And they think they rely too much on technology.
Oh, yeah.
To get them through things.
Yeah. Plus, I think nowadays, kids get cars a lot quicker than we did.
Aaron says parents have no real control because kids can
do what they want.
Do what they want to do. And I find
well,
that
you know, the other thing too is you really can't discipline them. Remember when we were kids, you did something wrong. Guess what? Came out the old strap came out and it whipped you across the butt.
Michael, go outside and get me a switch.
There you go. Do that today, and guess what's going to happen to you? You can't do that today.
Next thing you know, child and family services are knocking on your door.
Yeah.
Did you threaten to strike your child in any way, shape, or form?
No, I'm not saying beating your kid up is the right.
No, of course not.
Not the right method to do, but there are some times when you have to at least threaten them to, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes it takes a little smack to straighten them out, you know? I'm saying not to the point where you beat them.
You're gonna bludgeon a child.
No, of course not. But you gotta, you know, it happens.
Laura says, my husband and I talk to our kids. There you go.
Well,
I don't think there's enough parents that talk to their kids.
Yeah.
Because they're so busy.
Yeah.
And they get wrapped up in their lives.
Yeah. Well, then, of course, there are.
And I'm guilty of that sometimes.
But
I'm
then
not gonna
there
lie.
are some kids, well, they won't even talk to you. Where you going? I don't know. Where you going here? No. What you been doing? Nah.
Yeah.
They won't tell you
Where you
anything.
going? Out.
Yeah, they don't tell you anything.
Yeah. But then they're allowed to. That's what I'm wondering. What's the difference between 30, 40 years ago and parenting styles and today? If I ever looked at my mother and she said, where are you going? If I went out, she said, get your ass over here and you sit down. You tell me exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay, Ma.
Yeah.
You know, I was a legal adult, right? And I told my mother one day, I got real sassy, and I said, you know what? I'm 18, Ma. I can come. She goes, you are living under my roof.
Yeah.
She goes, if you don't want to do it, she goes, get the hell out. She goes, but while you're still living under my roof, I'm not going to worry that you're going to be wrapped around a tree somewhere. And she would say that over and over again. That's why I could say it that fluently, because I heard it over and over and over again.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think kids get away with a lot of stuff today.
Cindy says my house always shared our locations without issue for the most part. I think the whole sharing locations thing, I think you got to start that at a very young age. You can't just zap a kid at 15 and say, hey, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah,
because then it's like, whoa, there goes all my freedoms. Whoa.
Yeah, I think if you just tell them, look, just tell me where you're going and be home at a certain time, we're fine.
I always told my kids, this is Cindy saying that I don't want to have to track you, so don't make me need to.
Yeah.
We also watched way too many true crime shows.
Yeah.
So last known location is more the idea now that they're older.
Yeah. But having that tracking thing actually is a good thing too, because if something happens, you want to know where they are. They have it on. And let's face it, there's a lot of crap going on today with trafficking and stuff like that. Not that it happens a lot, but you don't want to scare them.
Enough.
I know, but you want to scare the kid, but having that on.
Yeah, you do. You want to put a little fear of God in them. Sure, you do.
So that's another reason for having that on.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I had to literally sit down with Rihanna and I told her, I said, look, I'm not trying to stalk you, kid. I said, I want to know where you are in case of an emergency.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's it.
I said, so she did. So about 3 months goes on after, I said, have I ever bothered you with where you are or what you're doing or anything like that? No.
Yeah.
Okay. So now do you believe me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's a good thing. Really.
Cameron, he gets mad, he shuts it off.
But
Now
this
he
is-
gets mad. That's the worst time to do that. Or if I find the kid's having a little pity party.
Well, does he pay for the phone?
No. Well, no, he does now. He
Oh, he
pays
does
for
now.
the phone, not the
Oh, yeah?
service.
Okay.
So no, but I know kids that these days they had little pity parties, and they didn't get what they wanted or whatever. They shut their location off like they're trying to punish you.
Yeah.
And in a way, yeah, they are.
Yeah,
Because you know damn well you want to know where they are, and they're not giving that to you.
right. Yeah, that's true.
Aaron says, oh, no, hold on a minute. Yeah. Oh, yeah, here it is. The difference is we got beat to next Sunday. There are kids that have grown up that got spanked and stuff like that and say, it worked.
I mean,
Taught me respect.
I've got spanked.
I did too.
But a cat of nine tails, that was a little piece of leather with a bunch of little things hanging off of it.
Kind of kinky.
Oh, yeah, man. Yep.
Scott Bennett says, when I was a kid, they always put me in the corner.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go? I'm in the corner. I can't go. I can't move.
Yeah. Well, I don't know whether people do the timeout thing now or what. I don't know if that's still a thing. Put a kid, go do a timeout. I don't know whether that's still goes on today or not. I don't know.
I don't.
I mean, I haven't had any kids around for a lot of years, so I really don't know. But
let's see. Sarah says we share our locations in our family, and funny thing was, the kids would track us to see if we were bringing home dinner. See, it works both ways.
Yeah, it works both ways.
And I think sometimes the kids, like with technology right now, think they're really sleek and sly, because they think, oh, yeah, I know more than they do about this. Say,
yeah.
Okay, well, fine.
Yeah.
Turn your location off.
Yeah.
See how far you go.
Right.
You know what they do today, too? And this really tweaks me up.
Yeah.
More so than turning their location off.
Really?
No, I haven't told you yet.
Oh.
You know what it is?
No.
Kids don't want to talk on the phone. And I don't know if it's social anxiety or they just don't want to talk on the phone. So, with that being said, you got to text them.
Yeah. That's a big thing now.
And then they don't text you back.
Well, that's true too. That happens.
They just ignore it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Texting back in the 80s be like, Michael, come home, it's time for bed.
Yeah, there's no texting.
No, that was texting back then.
Yes, it was.
These days, you send something right to the phone. If the kids don't want to hear it, they just they ignore it.
Yeah.
How many times did you have this conversation with a kid? Oh, why didn't you answer my text?
Well,
and then you know what happened? Oh, I didn't get it. You're so full of crap.
Well, you know what's going to happen. And, when we were always concerned about where our kids were, where they are, where's this one going? These kids today who are doing this today to you, tomorrow, their kids are going to be doing the same thing to them, except it's going to be something different. You watch.
Victoria said, all my kids will share their location with me. We raised them to be honest and respectful. The fear of disappointing me was enough to keep them in check for the most part. How many times have you heard? How many in this would sting? Paul?
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in you.
Yeah. That's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See? Like,
no.
Really?
Yeah.
What? That was like the kiss of death
well,
right there.
The other thing too, don't forget there's two parents working too now.
Mm-hmm.
So, parents are coming in and out. They got their own thing going on. They got to work because they need to support the family. So they're busy. Kids are doing their thing. A lot of times they don't have time to, Don't forget, years ago, it was one person was working, not two people. So some cases, some families are having it hard. Some people are working two jobs.
I think one of the biggest differences myself that I've seen between then and now is we were taught to respect what we had, respect what we did.
Yeah.
If we didn't, you know what? Then if it wasn't just your parent, then the parent down the road would get you.
Well,
You know, these days, kids, I don't feel they have much respect.
well, years ago, you had to work for it. You didn't just have it handed to you.
Right.
You had to work for it.
Yep.
And
I'm going off the two parents working thing, you know, and not being able to spend as much time.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think if it's handed to you, you don't respect it as much as if you had to earn it.
Yeah.
Because you just give it to me. What do I give a
There,
crap?
there you go. There you go. That's exactly where I was going at. Is
Yeah.
like it's like, okay, I expect you to do this for me. I don't need to be nice. I don't need to be well behaved because you're going to give me that, and that is your duty.
Yeah. And if I break it, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Scott says the accountability, the foundation of becoming a good person. Aaron says problem was always problem was our parents were loose with the whoopings. I got beat when I was right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Going back to the disappointed thing, Cindy says my disappointment was worse than any punishment.
Oh.
Kids need to make mistakes on their own to learn from them. We used to have them earn trust back when we messed up. I think that is getting lost today.
Yeah. Usually when kids get in trouble, what's the first thing some parents do is just say, it's not my kid. They
Yeah.
didn't do that, rather than listening to see what the issue is. Maybe it was not only your kid, it was both kids or whatever that
Yeah.
you got in trouble for.
Which
you never they never think that their kid was to blame for doing something, and that happens too. You know what I'm saying?
You know, but I don't want to overshadow. There are a lot of wonderful kids.
Oh yeah.
I'm not talking about every
no,
kid.
we're not looking at that the way. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I had a situation, well, not a situation, but just an instance this past weekend where I went to go get crickets for my bearded dragon.
Yeah.
So Paco got to eat. So I went there, and there was a young man from Grizzle High School, and he was with his young girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Very polite. I said hi. Put his hand down. Said hi. Nice to see you. How you been? I'm doing good. Oh, what you doing? Well, just doing this. Oh, I'm getting crickets. Oh, all right. Well, have a nice night. And this young man was very. I was shocked, not by him, but one of the kids actually, saying, "Hey, how are you?"
Yeah.
Instead of just turning their head or whatever, like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
So I was going to reach out to their parents, who I also know, just to tell them that I was so impressed. I was so impressed with that kid.
Yeah. There's a lot of good kids out there. You can't knock them all. No.
Oh, no, I'm not.
No, I know.
There were bad kids when we were growing up.
Oh yeah.
That went against the grain and did whatever.
Yeah.
There are a lot of like right now, I gotta say, like a lot of the senior class, they're good kids. They have they're at Grizzle High School, they're pretty tight. The cheering group for the school section's always busy and moving and grooving. So it's probably this is probably one of the better groups that I've ever seen.
Oh,
at Grizzle High School right now.
Good.
So, where does that come from? Does that come from just the kid, their in inner self, or does that come from guidance?
Guidance.
Absolutely. But if you ask some of the kids that are having a rough time, they're going to say it's all, I don't need any guidance.
Yeah.
I don't need any help.
Yeah.
I know it all myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's tough today. Things are Things are, the whole today's society and the way it's things are going. I mean, these kids know what's going on in the world today.
Mhm.
They know.
Good kids have bad parents, and bad kids have good parents.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very true.
Yeah, sometimes you try to be a good parent, and kid doesn't want to listen. you know?
So what if you have parents that are divorced?
That makes it even tougher.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you have one of them that refuses to co-parent because they think they're the only parent.
Yeah.
They're the only one that matters. There's always one.
Yeah.
What do you do then? Because now you're playing good parent, bad parent. What happens? What happens to the child?
Yeah.
You're forcing them to either do, pretty much this is the way it is, compared because whatever. Or you're teaching them to choose sides.
No.
That's a totally different.
That's a
yeah.
totally different situation, and I think.
But it's parenting. It's parenting. I mean, when does it become part for the kid and not for the parent? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think the divorce parents today, it's a lot more today than there was years ago. Let's face it. Divorce is very common today, especially when you have young kids like that. And now they end up with two sets of parents.
Aaron says one of my parents had bad parents and didn't learn how to be a good parent. Okay. I mean, some of the stuff I hear people saying, I'm like, okay, yeah, but I don't want to get into, Well, here's one I will get into. My mother's parents were drunks. They were alcoholics.
Yep.
And my mother had a very, very tough upbringing. So I think as a mother, she was hyper vigilant in a good way.
Yeah.
I always knew where I stood with my mother.
Yeah.
And when I was on the outs, I knew.
Yeah. I think that you're right. I think that either they're going to take the same road as their parents did, treated them to their kids, or
is that like a nature versus nurture kind of thing?
Yeah, either that or they're going to change and say, I'm not going to do that to my kid. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough because especially having a bad parent at a young age like
my mother
that.
wasn't a bad parent.
No, I'm not saying your mother.
I'm
saying her when your mother was small and having parents that's in that situation. And being a young age must have had some effect on her.
Oh God, yeah, what she
Sure.
went through, sure.
Absolutely. So then,
and I think that molded her into what kind of a parent
she was. She came, and when she got older, she probably said, "I'm not doing that." Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So so that's what happens. Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure that I think a lot of parents today probably had the same issues where they had parents that were not as good as they should have been.
Right.
And, you don't know, they probably saying, well, I'm not going to do that to my kids. Just goes on down the line. And it's lucky that, and of course there are some that will, so. Because don't forget, kids are shaped up at a young age. 14, 15, they've already.
Oh, I think younger than that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying at 14, 15, they're already.
Oh, yeah, they're already set. I'm thinking between 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
That's when they're really formative.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that there's a lot of times these days, especially so we're talking about divorced parents and stuff like that, where the other parent, is too busy. Are they that insecure that they go ahead and they slam the other parent, but they do it in a nice way, so it doesn't look like they're being too brutal?
Yeah.
You know, well, your dad.
Yeah.
Well, your mom.
Well, there are
didn't do
some
this,
there
and-
that does happen on both sides.
Yep.
You know, they'll say one thing against the other one or against something against the other one. But even prior to the divorce, there's a lot of uproar in the house. I mean, don't forget, there's probably arguments going
Yeah,
on
sure.
about something, and the kids see that.
So on a percentage basis,
Yeah.
how many times? Here's a little scenario. Tell me, and you guys out in social media land too. I would like to know what you guys think. As always. So how can I phrase this right? So let's say you're talking to the kid's talking to their mother. And the kid is complaining, dad didn't do this, and dad was gonna, or whatever. Do you think that parents or the non or the custodial parent, whether it's male or female, would say, well, yeah, that's just that person. That's just how they are. I was hoping you'd never find that out, but or do you say, well, that parent loves you, right? How much does that happen? It doesn't. I don't think it happens very much. I'm going to say it's 80-20 that the parents using that as a tool to slam the other parent to make themselves look good.
Well, I think during
Call me bitter.
Yeah, I think during when you first get divorced, that's probably going to be said. But don't forget, when you get divorced and you have kids, you're gonna be together forever because your kids are keeping you together, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So I mean,
trust me, I'm not trying to come off as parent of the year because I'm not. I get it. I never was.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think that in the beginning that happens, but then later on, I think it turns around. I personally, my personal feelings were something, but
Victoria says, this is interesting. Our granddaughter has a mother who is intent on raising a feral child. We went to court and my son got primary custody. The child is much happier with a parent who was involved and offers structure. Parents aren't friends.
Right. I think the other thing that happens, I think, as a child gets older because they're persuaded by one parent. And then as they get older, they see what's going on and they kind of flip. How many times do you hear that the child was originally with one parent and then flipped over to the other parent as they get older?
Mm-hmm.
Happens a lot. So
do you think maybe because the child
wakes up and sees what's going on?
Yeah.
Because they're old enough. And when they get to a certain age, they can flip because even the courts will go along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, kids are not stupid. They see what's going on in a household if there's two parents going through that kind of thing, and they see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
This person wasn't as bad as this person said they were because they're older and they can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different in everybody's house. I mean, I could sit here and talk about my own, but that doesn't really do anybody any good or any bad. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But
then there are a lot of cases where even though you're divorced, both parents, the kids go back and forth. There's no problem. They get along real well.
Parents have to be on the same page.
Yeah.
They you could hate each other.
Yeah.
You could absolutely hate each other.
Yeah.
But if you're not on the same page, as far as your other parent is concerned, then the child's the one that loses. I mean, your
absolutely.
Your own vanity gets in the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
AA Ron says, dating single mothers, I've seen it all. There can be abuse from either side. Mothers trashing fathers, using kids as pawns, abusive fathers. Every situation is
sure.
different.
Yeah. Happens.
It is true.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes one parent is not portrayed to the child properly.
Right.
They're portraying that person to the child as the way they see them and who they think they are.
That's
and what they think they're doing.
And that's
that
what
kind of
supports
stuff.
my argument that as they get older, they can see for themselves that it's not true.
Right.
And that happens. Yeah.
So,
yeah. So,
like I said, I've never been father of the year. You know, I've made my mistakes.
oh, I think,
You know,
there's nobody can teach you how to be a parent.
huh?
Every situation is different. You don't get a
No.
book to say, hey, this is how you parent, So sometimes you do a good job, sometimes you don't. I mean, it's just the way it is. So, yeah, it's all part of life.
Mm.
So,
So,
yeah.
Victoria. Having boys, I see a lot of their friends fighting to see their kids. These mothers don't allow them to see them and trash talk. It will bite them in the butt in the end. Paul is right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really true.
It is true.
It's weird because I know that there are parents that beg to see their children, and then they get pushed away and said no, or whatever. The other parent's really controlling it, or there are parents that pay no attention to their kids, and the other parent's begging them to do it. There's no middle ground,
right?
As far as two parents just co-parenting,
yeah,
there's always one that says, "Nah, I did it my way."
Yeah,
yeah.
And unfortunately,
and then there are things that are said to kids that sometimes that aren't true.
Oh yeah, of course they're going to say,
but they believe it.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they don't know.
Do.
Yeah, and a lot of times the courts are always
on both sides.
The courts are always in favor of the woman of the parents.
Yeah, there's no sense. I
know, but
this is such a Connecticut is very much a mom state.
Yeah,
unless mom's on crack.
Yeah,
or
because there are a lot of good fathers out there, definitely.
Right.
Who
and I say that because honestly, I know parents that were on crack that are not on crack and are wonderful parents.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Laura says, I made mistakes as a parent because we're not perfect and there's always situations
absolutely
we're not prepared for. It's a continuous learning experience.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, guess what? Parents are going to screw up.
Of course.
Just like anybody else, right? But if you have the other parent going, well, that's your mom. Well, that's your dad. That's how it is. What are you doing? You're forming an opinion for this child.
Yeah.
This parent good, this parent bad, good parent, bad parent.
Yeah.
And the one that's being accused of bad behavior will never, ever.
Yeah. But like I said, as life goes on, things change.
Yeah.
If you were considered bad back then, it turns around in the future because they grow up and they see what was going on. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just turns around. We all go through it. I mean, when I got divorced, my kids were 18 above, so I didn't have any worry about any young ones, but they could see what was happening. I mean, one went one side, one went the other side. So, yeah. So now it doesn't make any difference. I used to yell out my front lawn because I didn't like what was going on. Now, because the family's together, You see her. Hi, how are you? No difference. Don't let that stuff bother me anymore. It's been too, why should I?
Been too long.
That's been too long. So, mhm. Mm. Like I said, if you get divorced and you got kids, you're going to be together because as those kids grow up and then they have kids, guess what? Your ex-wife is going to come together with you because she's the grandma. Right. So when that little grandson or granddaughter has a birthday, guess what? Who's there? Your ex-wife.
Yeah.
Or your ex-spouse, maybe you want to call her. Yeah. So, yeah. So.
Sorry.
Oh. Didn't mean to make you cry.
No. It's blown my nose. I don't know. I think kids get stuck in the middle, and I almost feel like sometimes they're forced to make a choice, and then the kids that make the choices feel like they're making the best choice for them from the information that they've been able to gather through whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And can't blame the child for that.
No.
Can't blame them at all.
No, we don't.
So the only thing you can do is just be there.
That's it.
It's the only thing
so you can do. Yeah. So, but in the long run, it all works out. That's for sure.
Family events are always interesting with extended families.
Yeah. And today, extended families that's a common thing.
Absolutely.
It's common
Absolutely.
today.
I'm lucky I didn't have any kids with my ex-wives.
Wives. Yeah.
Ron says, because I would put them out if they was on fire. Yeah. I don't know what you mean by that. You mean you would put your ex-wives out if they were on fire? They were on fire, then you knew that they were straight from hell. Like you always thought.
Yeah.
Then there's those exes.
Yeah. This is kind of a,
and they're like, I don't know. Parenting is a weird game.
Yeah, because you didn't get a book when you had kids say, this is how you parent. It's a learning experience as you go along.
I did get a book.
Actually. I mean, it's like when you get a new job, you got to learn the job. Sometimes you're good at it. Sometimes you're not.
I got a book.
You got a book.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
When my first child was born.
Yeah.
It was from my mother. It was called Kids Don't Come with an Owner's Manual.
They don't. Yeah.
She was right.
Yeah. Because every kid's different. I mean, you could have two kids, one be one way, one be another.
All three of mine are completely different.
Oh, yeah. So there you go.
Completely different.
Yeah. No.
There's not a lot of there's no. From what I know, which is a good thing. You want them to have all their own, personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty much all different.
Yeah.
So, are both yours the same?
Mm-hmm.
They're the same? Both?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, of course not. Definitely not. No.
So, this is a subject we can go round and round and round for days and stuff like that. It's a very, very touchy,
very touchy subject to talk about.
We're not experts on this. But we've lived it, with
Well, I think
seen other people live it.
I think we all have lived it if you've been a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll say this, that, and I've seen this too, is there's this never say never. Never, ever, ever say never.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I've seen couples going, Oh, we're going to be together forever. We're never going to break up. We are so in love. 2 years later, they're going to court.
That's usually, well, even some young folks today who are 18, 19, who are dating for the first time. This is going to be my love. This is going to be it forever. Guess what? It doesn't happen.
Right.
And
just, I'm not trying to wish that on people, but I'm just saying, it's never say never.
Never say never.
Because you just don't know.
Exactly.
You don't know what twists and turns life's gonna take. Just you don't. As much as you think you do, and as much as you think you're in control, you're not.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's
I think that's the biggest thing I had to learn.
Yeah.
As a parent or even a human being, is that as much as you think that you've got the world by the yahoos, you don't.
No, you don't.
You don't.
Yeah. Something comes along and bingo, guess what?
Yeah.
What you thought was going right, guess what? Psst, didn't happen. Something happened that killed it.
Well, that's what they say is, there's only one thing in the world that stays the same. They say, what's that? Well, is that everything changes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's only two things today that really happens.
Death and taxes.
Death and taxes.
Mm-hmm. Those are the only things you can count on for your entire life.
Right.
Death and taxes.
Death and taxes. And I think the taxes are gaining.
I think the taxes are causing death.
In some cases, you're probably right.
Oh my God. All right. So one thing I want to ask you guys is that, if you come in here, I'd appreciate if you would share it. Share, to, on your timelines, or tell some folks and stuff like that about, just the kind of conversations that we have. We just, sometimes it's rather silly and aloof. Sometimes we tackle a big subject.
Yeah, it's kind of serious.
This one was,
and I'm not an expert.
Neither am I.
So
we're just people.
Yeah.
Just like anybody else. I mean, trying to, make some sort of, sense of, and a lot of times I hope that you make comments, that could help, that neither you or I, thought to say.
Yeah.
And that's very, very important, with this community show that we do here, is that everybody, can talk. Everybody has a voice, unless you're stupid, instead saying really ignorant things and, and making fun of people and stuff like that. But we don't seem to have that, which is nice.
Yeah.
But you got somewhere to go, Paul?
No, I just looking to see what time it was, because my coffee's almost gone. So it's usually by 10 o'clock. I know I can't have another one right now.
So the story this morning is I text Paul, do you want a coffee? He didn't answer. So I went to get a coffee, and I got him one anyway.
And then I bought one.
Then he goes, no. I just said, too late. Got it anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
Too late. All right, Aaron, love you too, brother. Let me know how your venture is going. Hey, Joanne, how are you? Parents cannot parent nowadays. There's no more spare the rod and spoil the child. I did not spare the rod.
Oh.
So
yeah.
Everybody, I think that if there's one thing that we can agree on, is that everybody has a different parenting style.
Correct.
Some people are similar, but I don't think we've seen anything that, or anybody that are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Plus, make comments.
Plus, a lot of times, sometimes some things are happening in the schools today where some parents have no control. That's why you're seeing a lot of parents going to school boards and things like that,
Yeah.
arguing because some of the schools are kind of like flipping the kids around to a different, this whole woke thing that's out there, and kids have got to put up with that. The whole pronoun thing, the whole transgender thing. That's going on today in today's environment, which never heard of that crap when we were growing up, when we were parenting. So parents have to deal with that. And then the other thing with the flu shots and this and that, the state of Connecticut wants to. You see what they're trying to do? They're trying to give
12-year-olds. You mean you're talking about that?
Give them the shot without your parents' consent.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, is wrong.
I think it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of crap that parents have got to put up with.
So if 12-year-olds are allowed to make that kind of decision, well, why don't we just fix up a little duffel bag? Go up the state, take care. No, don't ever do that. But
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they can make that decision.
Yeah. I mean, what legislator would even think of doing something like that?
I don't think the kids that are 12 want to make that decision.
I don't think they want to make that decision. You're absolutely right. But why is a legislator coming up with this idea?
Stupid.
I mean,
That's
who is
dumb.
this person? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Someone that should be evicted from the house.
Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of crap that parents have to put up with today.
Yeah.
It's not just raising the kid, it's the outside influence that's causing them more issues. And I got to give credit to a lot of parents because they stand up. They look what we were doing with some of these school boards around the country. I mean, they were starting to call them terrorists because they were going in and they were ticked off because what the school boards were doing.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
I think there's more change now than there was in the 80s.
Oh,
or
it's
the
a lot.
90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's much more change.
Yeah.
And I don't know if a lot of it is horrible as much as there's just a lot. And I don't know if it's just more than we can handle, because really in the last couple of years,
it's kind of, yeah.
I mean, everything's kind of flip-flopped.
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways, socially, politically.
Yeah.
So Shane is going preach, Paul. That's coming from De Illis right there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's tough. I would want to be a parent today. I'm glad I'm not.
Well, you are, just not of younger kids.
Yeah, they make up their own minds. I don't have to worry about that.
I think we made up our own minds too when we were younger.
Yeah.
I just think we had different avenues of somebody steering us a different way and what was acceptable and what is not.
Yeah. See, the difference between way back when, don't forget when I was growing up, you got married young. I was married at 21 years old.
So was I.
So even at 21, do you really mature enough to really know how to raise kids? You were young.
You're still a kid.
Yeah. So today, at least a lot of people don't dare wait till they're 25, 28, 30.
I mean, I don't want to say that I regret it because I don't.
No, I don't regret it either.
If I sat here and said I regret it, then
no, I would never say that.
Then there would be people that wouldn't be here that
absolutely. I wouldn't regret it. No.
Which I can't, even fathom them not being here.
No,
so
no.
But no, I agree. Hey, Paul's got a call. This call brought to you by.
I know who it is.
You did or did not?
Walgreens.
Oh.
Come pick your prescription up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Well, today was interesting.
Yeah, it's it's kind of a subject you kind of, I don't feel too comfortable talking about. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's not very comfortable talking about that subject.
But I think it's one of those that we kind of have to as a society, because it's like everything is such a gray area now.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's up in the air. Do we do this? Do we not do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I wonder how many people's parenting styles have changed just in the last 10 years.
Oh,
you know what I mean? From the way the world,
yeah.
the world's policies have changed. And
yeah.
Societal stuff. And
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, have you changed in your parenting stance?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would say no, but a lot of the stuff 10 years ago is not acceptable today.
True.
So now you're,
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, like I said, even the economy has got to be affecting some households. You know,
Yeah.
you know, with the cost of everything today, it's got to be an impact on, you know.
well, it
what-
affected us. Well, it affected me, my
well,
generation.
what's one of the biggest things that a couple will argue about?
money?
Exactly. And what kind of a situation are we in today? Money problems.
Right. Well, I was part of that generation where when I was younger, mom was home. You know, dad went to work,
Right.
mom
Yeah.
stayed home.
Right.
I got a little older, mom went to work because
Yeah.
they had to.
Because they had to.
You know, so started off working part-time.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, she's working a full-time
Full-time.
job, right?
Sure.
3 to 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a culture shock for a
yeah.
11-year-old kid.
Oh, absolutely. But in today's world, I mean, two parents working has been around for a while now. It doesn't happen yesterday. It's been going on for years because they have to.
Oh, now, yeah.
Yeah.
But not in the
It's
70s.
even, yeah, no, not in the 70s. But I think now it's even worse because some people may have to work an extra job to
Yeah.
make things meet. You know, let's face it, everything is going up, as we all
Yeah.
know. I mean, the funny thing about it that you see one of the commercials on TV today, spam. I mean, spam was a big thing back years ago because it
Yeah.
was a cheap way to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm saying, what the hell? We got spam commercials back on again because it's a cheap meal. So what does that tell you?
Whoa, you could really have to back it up when we start seeing Hamburger Helper.
That'll be next. That'll be next. But
And then there was Tuna Helper.
yeah. So, yeah. So, I don't know how.
Skillet, you know, with
I
the
don't know
hand
how
and the glove.
some families are coping with a family of 4, which got 2 growing kids, and then going to the grocery store and everything else you got on your plate. How the hell can they really do it?
It's hard.
It's got to be hard, and it's not getting any better.
No.
So,
Not anytime soon.
no.
Grow your own fruits and vegetables.
I mean, we've been very, very, fortunate that Mother Nature's been good to us.
Mm.
I mean, let's face it, 50-degree temperatures, you can turn that heat right down to nothing.
And you say that as I get oil delivered today.
Well, I didn't even know what the cost of it is, but
407.
yeah.
That's what I've
So
ordered.
there you go. I mean, 100
Good, better,
gallons
and
for
different.
$400. So, yeah, Mother Nature's been good to us that we've gotten this far.
Yeah.
It's
been a very mild winter.
We've been very lucky as far as
Yeah.
fuel oil goes, but I guess the weekend's going to be back to the Arctic cold is coming in on Saturday and Sunday, or Friday and Saturday, I should say. So it's going to be like 5 below on Friday with the wind blowing.
Well, if it's truly like 5 below, it'll still be 15 or 25, kind of like the storm.
Yeah,
because,
yeah,
they're not 5 below anymore.
Yeah, the wind.
They have things that are $10, $15,
Yeah.
$25.
So, but yeah, that's got to have an impact on family lifestyle.
So, just before we unhook the phone for the day,
Yeah.
just remember Wednesday is a big day.
Oh, that's
It's a telltale day for the town of Grizzle. That is referendum day.
the second.
No, it's the first.
Oh, the
Second
Oh,
is
the first.
Thursday.
Oh, I got you.
And I only know that because that's Rihanna's birthday, and she's going to be sweet 16.
Got you.
Sweet 16 on Thursday.
Mhm.
So yeah, referendum on Wednesday. We'll talk about it again tomorrow, but the day before. But yeah, that's Wednesday to vote on the multi-purpose turf field, and it's either going to be yay or nay.
Whatever.
I tell you this, Cameron, he's 18 years old. You know what he said to me?
What?
He goes, I got to get down and vote. I said, did you register yet? No, I'll take you down there. He goes, no, I'll do it. He said, okay. So he's going to go. I think you're going to have a lot of the younger kids too, jumping in. But he's like, I've never heard him talk like this before. He's like, he's all excited about, going down and voting for this. So we'll have to wait and see. And you know where I stand on it. I just think it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to ask you.
I'm not saying a word. Not saying a word.
Victoria says you can register online. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks for coming by, everybody. I'd like to make sure that if anybody has any suggestions for what we do here in the morning, send me a message. I would like to know what you think or what you think would be good, whether it's this or whether it's a different time slot or whatever. I really would like to know what you guys feel would be best for this show. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow right here on SNSN.
Hi, this is Lisa Griffin of Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank. Well, some banks offer checking account rewards, and some banks rebate ATM withdrawal fees. At Eastern, we say, why choose? Check out our Kasasa checking accounts and find out how you can get both. For more information, visit bankeasternct.com.